Today we are looking at the Gigabyte H610M S2H DDR4 motherboard. So this is a micro ATX motherboard on the brand new platform of LGA 1700, what most people call Alder Lake. So this is Intel 12th gen CPUs this will be compatible with. What we're going to do today, just going to take a unboxing of this and then we'll do like a little overview. Simply just going to lift here and you'll be able to see that there. As you can see here, just two SATA cables, which are just on top here, and then the motherboard itself. I'll just take that out. Let's have a look if there's anything underneath. Yes, there is. There's the I/O shield. There's the multilingual installation guide, and a kind of user manual, as well as your classic beer coaster or DVD for your drivers. No one uses that anymore. But let's move all that to the side. So opening up the motherboard now, out of the protective packaging. Just taking a quick look around. This is our new socket 1700, which obviously fits in the 12th gen Intels. Got our CPU fan up here. We've got one system fan here, and I believe one system fan here, and I believe that's actually all we get, unfortunately. Again, the 610 platform is a very budget platform, and it's only obviously micro ATX the board, but basically you're not going to get all the extra features like you get with the B660, but it's going to be perfectly fine for what I need and for what the 12100F is. It's going to be enough to have a decent computer. So again, moving on to limitations, we only have two DIMM slots here. They can fit, I think it's 32 gigabytes up to, but it might be 64 gigabytes, but I'll put that down below just to confirm. It will take up to DDR4 3200 speed, and I will be putting 16 gigabytes of 3200 kit in, so that, you know, that's all we need and that's enough. Obviously our ATX here, we've got 4 SATA ports here, and I'll do close-ups of this as we go along, but this is just doing an overview here for you. We have our USB 3 port, front panel here for your wiring of your power on button and all that sort of stuff, reset button and everything. As I said, there was a system fan there, only 2 system fans, which is the other one's up here, but is what it is. I forgot to mention there's that 8-pin CPU power connector here as well. Let's say like the Z690 motherboards would have probably an 8+4 or maybe an 8+8. So we have 2 USB 2 front headers here. We have a TPM module there. Also we have the 12 volt RGB. There's no 5 volt addressable RGB on this motherboard, unfortunately, but again, most people aren't going to need addressable RGB at this price point. Most people are probably going to be using the stock cooler, so there's not going to be any ARGB there. You're probably going to have a budget case which has its own RGB hub and everything altogether, so you're probably not going to need addressable RGB, but obviously if you do, you probably will have to go up to a B660 motherboard. Then we just have a COM port, which you're probably not ever going to use, and then our front audio there as well. Obviously, going on to our M.2 slot here, we only get one. Again, that's a limitation of the board, but it's enough. It also comes with one of these little, you can actually move the screw over, so it's almost like a locking mechanism over the drive. What used to happen is you used to be able to have a little tiny screw which you screwed in, but then a lot of people would lose the screw and then wouldn't be able to screw down their M.2 drive. Obviously passive cooling on the North Bridge, but that's perfectly fine. The VRM setup, as we can see here, it's extremely basic really, but it's gonna get the job done for especially like the 12100F. Now, I really wouldn't want to put anything like the 12400F or anything more powerful in this board. This board really is for your Pentiums, your Celerons, and then your 12100F. Potentially the 12400F could run in this, but I'd probably say if you're getting up to the 12400F and paying 180 odd pounds, you may as well buy a 140 odd pound motherboard, I think, by the time you get to there. I should say it does have PCI Express Gen 4 support for a times 16 slot there, so that is one good thing. So if you are using a graphics card, that'll be fine. And it does have one extra sort of 1x slot there as well, but most people probably aren't going to use that. Now moving to the rear I/O. As we can see, this is a very sort of legacy motherboard, or sort of like legacy support motherboard. So we do have the PS2 keyboard and mouse slots here, which don't really like to see, but it is what it is. And there's more legacy going on here as well with the VGA port and the DVI port, but again, a lot of people are going to be using a older monitor, especially with this sort of setup, so that's probably why it's there. So then we also have a HDMI, and we have a DisplayPort out as well. So quite good video outs there, but this is probably because a lot of people buying this board are probably going to buy CPU with an integrated video graphics into their CPU, so, or like an APU build, so that's probably why it's there. Now moving on, again, very basic, we've got 4 USB 2 ports, which is extremely basic, and then just your 2 USB 3 ports, which I believe are just USB 3 Gen 1, but I'll put it below if not. And then just a 1 gigabit LAN, just standard, and then just a very basic audio outs there, just 3 of them. As we can see on the back here, absolutely nothing on the back really. No extra M.2, no nothing really there. So overall, who is this motherboard for? Like I was saying, this is for a very budget build. I think it's going to be perfect for what I need for my 12100F, just to kind of keep costs down. I don't really see the point of buying a £120 CPU with a £140 motherboard. That really doesn't make sense to me. If I was going up to the 12400F, I probably would go up to the B660. I think this is going to be enough for the build which we're going to have. Subscribe so you can actually see that build coming up. The 12100F unboxing and sort of like benchmarks and review sort of video will be probably next after this one. And then the build will probably be after that. Like I say, I hope you're enjoying the videos here, guys. I'm going to try and do a little bit more content. I know lately it's been a little bit short on content, but that's because I've had different life situations and other things sort of pop up, but I'm going to try and get back into the content again. So obviously please like this video if you do like this content, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.